Hey, and welcome to another video. In today's video, we're going to be setting up the lap time, race time checks. Since in the last video we set up the timer, so now we can check to see if the player has beaten the times that have been set. And with that, let's get into this. So before we get started, we're first gonna set a couple of things up here by the event begin play. So just move this out the way, make some space, and then right click, and then look for get player controller. And then from the player controller, you're gonna drag off and look for set show mouse cursor. Connect that, and then from the player controller again, we're gonna drag off and look for set input mode game only. I'm gonna connect this up here and then just connect everything together. Just connect everything up. Just move this over a bit. This is for if you move from the garage and you jump to the race level, then you don't have to left click so that the mouse cursor can disappear. This will just automatically handle that, and then you can get straight into the race. And then at the end of the event begin play, here by the start race time that we added last time, just drag off and add the start lap time as well, since we need to check for both the race time and the lap time. So we need both of them to actually initialize. And then with that, we're going to move on to setting up the code to actually move you from the race level to the garage. So from here, just drag off and then look for the race start set, and don't enable it, and then just drag off from there. I'm going to add a delay node. Delay. So this is so that once the race is finished, then there will be a delay set here. I'm going to put mine to 3. This is for the splash screen. So after the race is done, then the splash screen will showing you your times and everything, and then you'll move to the garage level. But for now, we're just setting up the code because we're going to test it out and see if it works. But later on, we'll add the actual code for the splash screen, and then from the delay, we drag off and say open level by name, and then we just look and just add garage. Make sure it's spelled exactly as you saved it, and then just add a comment around this. Move player to garage after race. Okay. And then here by the start game setup, it doesn't actually claim on doing this, but it's not that hard. Just drag off and look for the save game check function, and then we're going to look for the initialize text function as well. And then this will just make it so that when the game starts, it's just going to check if there's a save game, and if there is, it will load that. If there's not, then it will just load the default, and then it will just initialize all the text that's needed for the level as well. And then just add a comment around this, and then just say start game setup. And with that, we're done for here. We're done with this part. Just compile and save, and then we're going to head over to the lap time check function. And then here, first thing we want to do is drag off from the node and then add the stop lap time, because you first have to stop the lap time before anything else. And then we're going to add a branch node, and then we're going to drag in under the variables. We're going to drag in the lap time, hold control and drag it in, and then we're also going to drag in best lap time and drag these two in. And then from the lap time, we're going to drag off and search for lesser equal to. So if the lap time is lesser than or equal to the best lap time, then the best lap time that was set will be overwritten by the current lap time. And then again, hold control and drag in the lap time. And then we're gonna drag in the best lap time. Gonna hold Alt and then drag in best lap time. And then connect the lap time to the bottom pin so that we can set the best lap time. And then we're gonna connect this to the true for the branch node. We're first gonna do the true and then the false. And then from here, we're gonna drag in under the text variables. We're gonna hold Alt and drag in the best lap time. Let's drag this in. And then from the set best lap time, we're gonna drag off and look for the time to text conversion macros that we set up. Connect that to the text and then connect the executionable pins. And then from here, we're gonna drag off and look for the save game function. And then we're gonna drag in the lap time again, hold Alt and drag in the lap time. And then we're gonna connect that so that after everything is done, we're gonna set the lap time back to 0. This is just so that we can set the best lap time, but then we want the actual lap time to go back to 0 and not remain as the best lap time, because we're gonna need it for the following races that will happen afterwards. And then from here, we're gonna go back to the branch node, and then from the false, we're gonna drag off and then just look for the set lap time value, and that will be it. This is just so that if the condition hasn't been met and the lap time isn't better than the best lap time, then we just set the lap time back to 0. And then from here, we're gonna drag off and then look for a branch node and then connect the lap time at the top from the true, and then connect this to the branch node as well. And then we're going to drag in the race complete and then connect that to the condition. And then from the false, we're going to look for the start lap time. Let's say, so this part here is so that if the race is not complete, and then the lap timer will start over again, because it has been set to play from start. So with each lap, it's gonna start back at 0, and this is the part that's gonna fulfill that. And then from the true, we are going to look for the race time check function. And with that, we've done. Compile and save, and then just select everything, add a comment, and say check if player has beaten the best lap time. That we're done, and now we're gonna go and do the same for the race time check. So by the race time check, it's a little bit easier. It's not going to be as much code because we're not going to do the false, it's just the true. So from here, we're also going to add the stop race time, and then we're going to drag off and look for a branch node, and then we're going to drag in the best from the value variables, the best race time, as well as the race time. Just have the race time at the top and the best race time at the bottom. And then from the race time, drag off and search for the lesser equal to, connect them up, and then connect that to the condition. Just move this over a bit. And then from the true, we're going to look for set best race time, and then we're going to drag in the race time, hold control and drag in the race time, connect it to the pin, and then we're going to look for the time to text macro, and then under the text, variables, we're gonna hold Alt and drag in the best time text, and then connect the macro to the bottom pin, connect the executables, and then we're just gonna, from the best time text, drag off and look for the save game function, and that will be it. That's it for the race time check. Just drag a comment over everything and then say check if player has beaten best race time. Okay, so now with everything done, set up, all the code is finished. Now we're going to test it. So from the save game here under the race time check, just drag off and search for print text, and then connect the best time text to it, and then compile and save, and then we're gonna go over and test it. Oh, before that, over here in the value variables in the player controller, we don't need to know what the goal time is for now. We're not going to use that right now, but for now, to test this out, you can change your best lap time, best race time, your default race time, and your default lap time. Change all of these to something beatable right now. Even if you put it at something like 600, which is 10 minutes, it's fine. It's just to see if it actually works. And then also in the tracker, you click on the tracker, just also change the default best lap and default best times. You can also change the code. We'll adjust these later on as needed, and then afterwards you can just play the track. Okay, so now we're heading for the final checkpoint. We're gonna see if the code works. It's the moment of truth, and in the top left saw the time 2:36, and it crashed. And I'm back again, trying to see if it's gonna work this time. Going for the final checkpoint. Okay, the code works. This time it's like 2:40. Let's see, and the code works. We can move to the garage. Everything is fine. Now let's see if the other piece of code works. If we go here, will the mouse cursor disappear? Yes, it does. So there, everything works. Everything is fine. Unreal didn't decide to kick me out this time again. So with that done, that's the end of the video. If you liked the video, whether you liked it, didn't like it, feel free to drop a comment in the comment section. And until the next video.